Friday at the Australian Formula One Grand Prix and the anticipation of the new generation Formula One cars. Prior to the cars heading out, there was one guy who drew the media's attention. He ruled the roost here for 12 years, and Speed Cafe joined in with the press conference from Mark Webber.
G'day. Yeah. Oh, look, I'm just proud to be back here. First year out of the saddle, let's say. But Grand Prix Corp have been great for me over the years. It's a sensational event that I'm very, very proud of as an Australian. It's been in Adelaide all those years, and Melbourne have done such a great job for absolutely decades now, and all the competitors love coming here. The press, photographers, everyone, all the mechanics. It's just such a brilliant event to start the season off. So I think we're expecting a bit of a fun-filled weekend with all new regulations. Not sure who's going to come out on top, obviously. But yeah, as a neutral now, I'm looking forward to it. I certainly don't miss being behind the wheel. I'm happy to be here and chilling out. And yeah, it's no better way to start.
What would you be doing now?
Well, I'm racing for Porsche this year, so I've got eight races to do with those guys this year. The Le Mans 24 Hour, which is a very, very famous race, so it's an endurance race, and yeah, doing a lot of work with them, also a little bit of work with Red Bull. Still finding ways to keep my time, very, very busy, and yeah, so it's good to be back.
So you're serious that the competitive juices haven't started flowing being back here at the track today?
No, I was on the treadmill this morning, so I got rid of my competitive juices, so yeah, blew off a bit of steam. No, mate, I had my time. I'm very, very happy with long career, and it's time for the other guys to Daniel's now in the seat. He can really enjoy a long career, and capitalise on his potential. He's earned his stripes, so looking forward to seeing how he'll go, and obviously all the rest of the drivers.
What's your advice to Daniel? Have you spoken to him much, and if not, what would you say to him at this point?
I've spoken to him a little bit over the winter, but look, he's a big boy. He's 24. He doesn't need much advice. Everyone's got to do it their own way as well. He's in a sensational team. Obviously, a lot of experience inside the team to help him, in achieving what he wants to set out to do. He's got, I think he's got 60 or 70 Grand Prix under the belt now, so he knows that he can do a good job, and yeah, he's ready for it.
Mark, are you surprised it seems like so many teams haven't been able to get their head around the new package?
Not at all. This is absolutely new technology. I mean, it's trailblazing, to say the least. It's in its embryonic stage, so this new technology is very, very difficult for the teams to get on top of so quickly. It's the same in the Porsche, the stuff we're doing as well. It's very, very, very advanced, and in 2 or 3 years it'll be normal technology, but at the moment it's very, very advanced. So there'll be could be some frustrations, cars not running correctly, teams not out on time, those type of things, but that's the way it is. That's one of the, I suppose, the luxuries of Melbourne being the first event, in that we're going to have maybe a bit of a surprise, maybe in results, but also, we certainly won't be over until the fat lady sings on Sunday afternoon.
As a driver, how would you be coping with the situation right now, not knowing some of these, how the cars will go?
Well, thankfully, I'm pretty experienced. So I've been through most scenarios. You've just got to do your job. I mean, the engineers are doing their thing. They know the car's got to run smoothly as best it can, but you can't lose energy over that. I'll just be relaxing, making sure that I'm focused on the job when the car is running, and make sure I'm doing my job.
Do you think the era of dominance for Red Bull, perhaps they seem a little behind the eight ball at this point? Has it come to an end? Is it going to be a more level playing field, do you think, now?
We haven't done one race yet, so I think it's very, very difficult to say how they'll perform and how their season will unfold. I mean, we didn't win this race last year either. We actually got a bit of a towel up here last year, and then Sebastian and ourselves, we went on to win the World Championship. So it was a very tricky start to the year always here in Melbourne in terms of form. You'd be a very brave man to underestimate Red Bull.
So a little bit of disappointment for Daniel, Mark, and the fact that he finally comes to Melbourne after a couple of years having a good package under him with the Red Bull team, and he may not have a successful run?
Oh, look, this is one race out of 19. So he leaves here Monday morning focused on the next race. So it's all well and good to get cranked up into the atmosphere of this event, which is sensational, but he knows it's a long, long season. And for him and for the team, they've got many opportunities this season to do a great job. So, and it still could happen this weekend. Who knows? You never know what's going to unfold on Sunday. They're certainly not going to roll over and have their tummies scratched. They're going to work as hard as they can to be competitive.
Was any of the advice you gave to Daniel in the winter months about how to deal with Seb?
Not at all.
Mark, how many races do you think it'll take for the teams to sort of tune themselves up to all the new technology?
I think probably 5 or 6 races. they'll have a good handle on it when they get back to Europe. These first flyaways are very, very tricky. I think they're going to be. It's very frustrating for Formula 1 teams not to get on top of things as quick as they want. They always want to be perfect as quick as possible. That won't be the case. So when they get back to Europe, I think they'll have their houses in order.
Would you say this is like a rebirth of the Formula 1?
No, I wouldn't say it's a rebirth. I'd say it's new technology. It's a new, very aggressive regulation. A regulation that probably needed to take place because the engines that we were using in the past were pretty prehistoric, to be honest. Now there's this new type of hybrid and electric sort of racing coming into Formula 1 and into sports cars, same with the Porsche. So that's the way the future's going. Automotive is going that way. That's the way it will be, and to put it in a competitive environment, there's no bigger way to learn aggressively than to put it in this type of format of racing.
Mark, in terms of...
The roar or scream of an engine no longer there, or do you think we'll get used to that?
Look, I think in the V10 days, they were the best engines we had, 2005, 2006. Since the V10 days, the engines have got quieter, and they're going to be quieter again this afternoon. But again, that's just the way it is. Concorde doesn't fly anymore either. That's the way it is.
Mark, in terms of the amount of effort that Red Bull would have been putting in over the testing period with their dramas, Renault the same, I mean, what sort of scale do you think they've been putting into this?
Oh, they would be working absolutely around the clock. I mean, they've got 500 people at the factory, and it'll be all hands to the pump. I mean, that's the nature of any competitive team, and to be honest, Red Bull were like that even when we're winning. So they're obviously under a little bit of heat coming in here, but they've got some very, very good operators inside the team. One being Adrian Newey, who has got the best record out of any designer in the history of the sport. So, don't underestimate these guys. They might have a tricky weekend here, but as I say, Monday they're ready for Malaysia and they'll try and bounce back.
Can you tell us more about the switch to Porsche and what your preparation's been? What's the car been like to drive?
Yeah, my switch to Porsche has been enjoyable. Been welcomed into the family very, very well. It's endurance racing, so they're like Formula 1 cars with roofs, if you like. They're the next quickest category underneath Formula 1. So that was appealing to me in terms of adrenaline. We've been doing a lot of testing, a lot of work in the Middle East, some work in Portugal, and my first race is in April in Silverstone, and then we've got another race in Spa the first week of May, and then the big race in the Le Mans 24 Hours. So we're learning as well. It's a pretty aggressive learning curve for us, and I'm really enjoying driving the car, and it's absolutely perfect adrenaline for me off the back of racing at the highest level in Formula 1, and this is the next best racing category for me at World Championship level and professional level to race in.
Given you're partnering with Brendan and Neil as well in the Porsche stable and their association with Red Bull, what involvement is Red Bull actually having in terms of commercial support for the Porsche team?
Red Bull will be a personal sponsor for me, and that's as far as I think it'll go at this stage.
Your focus here right now is looking at the Grand Prix, but after this weekend, will you be more or less 100% onto the Porsche program and not really visiting many more Grand Prix?
I will be doing the Australian Grand Prix this year, British Grand Prix and Monte Carlo, so going to a few races with Red Bull and also doing some work with Porsche. But this weekend was all about the Australian Grand Prix Corp because this event, I've been to this event ever since probably 96, so I've been coming here every year. And I had a lot of opportunities to come here and do some really good things. And just because I'm not competing didn't mean I didn't want to come. There's a loyalty factor. Ron Walker was great to me over the years and still is. And that's why I like to come back here and endorse the event. And it's not smoke and mirrors. It's absolutely real. I love being here to see other people enjoy our event from an international perspective.
What would it take to get you into a V8? Plenty of Aussies would love to see that happen.
I don't think that's going to happen, mate. I don't think it's going to happen.
Never ever?
Will this have give you a bit more opportunity, Mark, to spend time on the challenge?
Yeah, I really enjoyed my adventure racing. The challenge is going to have a break this year in 14. We are excited about some 15 opportunities. That's something, it's got such a big following now all around the world. Very proud of it. We've touched so many hearts as competitors and also from a charity aspect. So that's gone well. And watch this space with the Weber Challenge in the future.
Last question, please.
Christian said that Mercedes could win by a couple of laps, and they're saying that that's just a bit of gamesmanship. There wasn't anything that would be hidden by Red Bull from their testing. That was a full-on. That what we saw is where it was at. There's nothing hidden.
Look, you get such limited testing these days. I don't think it's not in your interest to play funny buggers with yourself. So I think what they probably showed was what they probably had. It's hard to read completely into it because in testing the track is open for 9 hours a day. You're never on the track at the same time. We're here. This is the first time where you're always on the circuit at the same time. You have to deliver, come qualifying. There's the track. Deliver your time. What can you do? So you get start to get a form guide, obviously, of who's quick in certain scenarios. We hear Mercedes might win by a lap. Okay, it's been done before here in the past, so who knows if that will happen. Plenty of smoke and mirrors. They need to get racing and see what's going to happen.
The action really hotting up at the Australian Grand Prix. Whether it's the F1, V8 Supercars, Carrera Cup or even the Mazda Celebrity Challenge, we'll have it covered here at speedcafe.com. Also check out our race guide and also our Talking Tech section. Overseas this weekend there's also plenty of action, and whether it's in Australia or around the world, your #1 place for news is speedcafe.com.